Good morning. Let's quickly get into the 7 deadly sins of freediving. These things can actually get you killed if you do this while freediving. Number 1, you guessed it, freediving alone. If you're freediving alone and anything happens to you, a shallow water blackout, you bump your head, you get attacked by something in the ocean, or you get a cramp or something, you're on your own. The risk, the chances of your survival because you're alone now dramatically decreases simply because you don't have a dive buddy with you. So diving alone is the number 1 way to get killed in freediving. Number 2, hyperventilation. Specifically the type of hyperventilation where you rapidly inhale and exhale like this. This tricks your body into thinking that you can hold your breath for longer than what you can. It does not increase the oxygen levels in your blood. That is a myth, and it has gotten people killed before. So this actually increases the likelihood of a shallow water blackout because you now think you can hold your breath longer than what you can, because you have now just delayed the contractions that you would have gotten from the CO2 buildup. So hyperventilation is number 2. Number 3, exhaling underwater. Let me read this for you quickly. When you surface following your dive, the breathing you do is called recovery breathing. It is important not to exhale any air until your mouth has cleared the surface, as exhaling on the way up deprives your body of oxygen and can make you more negatively buoyant. So those are the 2 reasons why you do not exhale while your mouth is still under the water. Overweighting yourself. Number 4, overweighting yourself instead of using good technique to get down. So let's say this is more applicable to diving on the line than what it is to recreational freediving. If you're recreationally freediving in an area that's only 3 or 4 meters deep, you might want to pack a little bit more weight so that you are neutrally buoyant at 3 or 4 meters, but that is an exception. When you're freediving on the line, you need to be neutrally buoyant at 10 meters below the surface. If you overweight it and you're on the way back up and you get a shallow water blackout, you're going to sink faster than what your dive buddy can get you, or you're going to start sinking before your dive buddy has met you halfway. Overweighting yourself is never a good idea when you're freediving on the line. Instead, work on your good technique. Overweighting yourself reduces your buoyancy, so in your last 10 meters of reaching the surface, if you overweight it and anything happens, you're not going to keep going up after you reach 5 meters, 4 meters, you're going to start going down. Not observing the correct minimum surface rest intervals. There are 2, this is number 5, the 5th way to get yourself killed while freediving. Not resting long enough on the surface before you do your next breath hold dive. This is common amongst spearfishers and also amongst people sharing a buoy. So spearfishers, what they'll do is they'll see something down there and they don't realize they've just done a 3-minute breath hold and they haven't done a long enough recovery breath, they haven't done enough surface time. So the rule for me is 2 to 3 times your last dive. So if I was under the water for 2 minutes, I need to be on the surface for 4 to 6 minutes. If I was under the water for 3 minutes, I need to be on the surface for 6 to 9 minutes. Okay, so that is another reason. That is a big cause of shallow water blackouts among spearfishers, but it also happens when people are sharing a buoy, 2 people or 3 people, and it's the next person's turn to dive, or the guy's just dived and now he's got a buddy, another diver, and they're not resting long enough on the surface. That's another way to get killed. Diving with a snorkel in your mouth. Number 6. Obviously, if you have a snorkel in your mouth and you do get a blackout, the snorkel is going to act like a funnel that's going to force the water into your lungs while you have a blackout. So never dive with a snorkel in your mouth. That is an easy way to get killed while freediving. And number 7, not diving within your limits. So a common thing in recreational freediving is, oh, will you film me with my GoPro camera while I do XYZ? maybe your buddy is very comfortable diving a shipwreck at 15 or 20 meters, free diving a shipwreck at 15 or 20 meters. If you're not able to free dive a shipwreck at 15 or 20 meters comfortably, you definitely should not be filming somebody diving a shipwreck 15. That's just one example of people not diving within their limits. Another example is people being too competitive, wanting to beat their buddies or beat the competition on a line, and then overexert themselves and overpush themselves and dive deeper than what they know that they comfortably can. So those are the 7 deadly sins of freediving. Number 1, freediving alone. Number 2, hyperventilation. Number 3, exhaling underwater. Number 4, overweighting yourself instead of using good duck dive technique. Number 5, not observing the correct minimum surface rest intervals. Number 6, diving with a snorkel in your mouth. And number 7, not diving within your limits. So be safe. See you guys soon.